Hey guys, I know you told me not to go back. I know you said to trust my gut. My gut screamed at me to forget about that house and that family. But my head told me I was overreacting, that this was good and easy money, and I'd be a fool to let a few knocks and uneasy feelings send me running away. So I went back. I told you I'd update if anything had happened. I wish I could say that nothing had. Driving there Friday night, my stomach was in knots. I kept telling myself that last week was just my imagination, that old houses creak, kids make things up, pipes bang. But as soon as I pulled up to that big Victorian house, the dread came back like a wave. Margaret greeted me with the same polite yet distant smile. David didn't say much. They went over the same 3 rules again, speaking them aloud while sliding the written version across the counter like a contract. Rule number 1, the basement door stays locked. Rule number 2, Jamie is in bed by 9 p.m., no exceptions. And rule number 3, ignore the man in the basement. Even though I nodded in acknowledgement, my stomach tightened. There was something in their eyes last week, and again today, that told me there was more that I should know, that they weren't saying. Again, they rushed out the door without a goodbye. Jamie was waiting in the living room. He didn't smile when he saw me. He looked tired, nervous, that same bracing for impact vibe. I tried to coax him into conversation with silly jokes, but nothing really landed. He's such a serious little boy, more serious than any little boy should be. I wonder what happened to make him this way. I asked him questions, tried to get to know more about him. He just gave me these short, distracted answers while sneaking glances at the hallway where the basement door had sat heavy and dark. We did normal things, had some snacks, played a few board games, watched a movie. But around 8:15, he started pacing. Not like a hyper kid, like somebody waiting for a countdown to finish. "Jamie," I said, sitting crouching to his level. "Everything's going to be okay. Nothing's down there." I didn't even know whether I was lying to him or not, but I wanted to comfort him. He whispered back. His voice was trembling. "Don't make him mad." By 8:30, the air in the house felt heavier, almost oppressive. I brought Jamie upstairs to bed. He grabbed my wrist again as I tucked him in. His hand was freezing. "Please," he whispered. "Don't leave me. They all leave me." The way he said it broke my heart. He was such a sweet little boy, truly terrified of something beyond his and mine comprehension. How many babysitters had left? How many times had he felt abandoned? It's not like his parents were ever there for him. They couldn't be less caring or present. "I'm not leaving, sweetie. I promise." His little hands clutched mine as he gently fell asleep. It was like he was too scared to let go. I promised myself then that I wouldn't be another babysitter that just leaves. He needs someone caring in his life, and I'm determined to be that person. I almost felt guilty prying his hand away from mine once I knew he was asleep. I went back downstairs and sat on the couch. The fire was almost dead, the embers glowing faintly. Shadows stretched long and thin across the floor. My phone screen lit up my face, but I wasn't even scrolling, I was listening. That's when it happened. A knock. Slow, deliberate, 3 times. I froze in place. My body went cold. It was the same sound as last week, but louder. I stared at the hallway. The basement door looked darker than it had any right to look, like the shadows around it were thicker than the rest of the house. "Hello?" I called out nervously, and was met with silence. "Is someone there?" I called out again. My heart was racing, but was just met with more silence. Something in me snapped. I know they told me not to, but I needed to confirm that it was nothing. I needed to see for myself that I was being crazy or dramatic. I wanted to just open the door and see that nothing was there, and then sigh and roll my eyes at myself. Or maybe confirm that it was something. Maybe there was a real man there. A family member or tenant that lives in the basement, perhaps. I could ask him to stop scaring Jamie. I don't know. I just knew I had to do something. I stood up as the blanket slid off of me. My hands were shaking, but I forced myself to walk down the hall. Each floorboard creaked underneath my feet. The closer I got, the colder the air felt, like stepping into a refrigerator. I reached the door. My hand hovered over the knob. It felt wrong. The knob wasn't just cold, it was freezing, like when you leave metal out in winter. I swallowed hard, and I slowly turned it. The lock clicked. Just a fraction. The door creaked open a tiny bit, wide enough to see nothing. Or maybe something. In the blackness beyond, my heart slammed in my chest. The fear consumed me. Every instinct screamed to turn and run. As much as I wanted to lean in, to confirm that it was nothing, the chill that shot through me was too powerful. The sense of dread was suffocating, urging me to immediately shut the door back the fraction I had even opened it. I closed it. Hard. The latch caught again. My hands were shaking. My breath came in shallow gasps. I wish I could explain the heavy negative energy that consumed me when I had opened that door, but no words can convey how powerful it felt. Creepy, scary, terrifying are all way too simple. I stood there, looking at the door, my heart racing. And then, because my curiosity was stronger than my sense, I pressed my ear to the door. At first, it was silent, then ever so faintly, so faint that I thought I was imagining it. A voice. A man's voice. Whispering. The words were muffled, but the tone was unmistakable, coaxing and almost friendly. I strained to hear his words. I couldn't make them out. The voice sounded like he was right there on the other side of the door, while also being a million miles away. My chest tightened. I pressed my ear harder against the door, trying to understand what I was hearing. I held my breath as I made out 3 words being spoken from the other side of that door, and then a bang on the door pushed me back. And it was loud, louder than before, and I grabbed my ear from the deafening reverb. As I jerked back, the voice stopped. The air seemed to suck back into the hallway like a vacuum. I didn't run, but I walked back to the couch fast enough to almost trip. I sat there, shaking, staring at the hallway, terrified in anticipation for more knocks, or more voices. But nothing came. David and Marguerite finally arrived home at midnight exactly. They found me sitting there, pale and silent. Marguerite didn't ask me what was wrong. David didn't even look at me. It was clear I was scared. It was clear that something had happened. But it was also clear they wanted to pretend everything was fine. I wanted to tell them. I wanted to ask questions. I wanted to demand answers. But I also didn't want them finding out I had broken one of the rules, not to go near the basement. I was torn. They handed me my payment and opened the door to show me out, but the silence between us was too heavy to be casual. There was an unspoken knowledge between all of us. Like they knew something had happened, and I knew that they knew. Maybe they've had this conversation too many times before. How many babysitters haven't come back? Maybe they think if they don't mention it, I won't mention it, and we can all pretend everything is normal. So I left without a word. Now I can't stop thinking about that voice. I know I heard it. I wasn't imagining it. And worst of all, those 3 words, I swear I heard them. Faintly, but clear enough to freeze my blood. You freed me.